Okay, let's just dive right in. Every single team, I don't care how good you are, has them. These little hidden inefficiencies that are just quietly draining productivity day after day. But what if you could actually find them and, fix them for good? Today, that's exactly what we're going to break down. The tools that let you do just that. We're talking about transforming your team's workflow from something that causes frustration into something that actually creates momentum.
So, let me just ask you this straight up. Have you ever stopped to think about how many hours are just slipping through the cracks for your team every single month? I mean, really think about it. The manual data entry, those endless back and forth email chains just to get an approval, the time just spent trying to figure out who's supposed to be doing what. It really starts to add up, doesn't it?
And believe me, it adds up to a lot. For many teams, we're talking about hundreds of work hours just gone. But the good news is there is a clear answer to this problem. And that's what we're digging into today, workflow optimization. It's really about systematically taking back those lost hours and turning them into productive, valuable time.
Okay, so what's the actual payoff here? What's in it for you and your team? Let's get right to it, because this isn't just about feeling a little more organized. This is about seeing real, concrete, measurable gains that absolutely impact your bottom line.
First off, let's talk about quality. When organizations really optimize their workflows, they see on average a 37% reduction in manual errors. Just think about that for a second. That's like erasing more than a third of those costly, super frustrating mistakes. That means less time fixing things and way more time actually moving forward.
And of course, getting it right the first time has a huge impact on the budget. By automating and streamlining tasks, companies are reporting up to a 25% drop in their processing costs. That is real money that you can then free up for things that actually grow the business. And it gets even better when you look at speed, because, well, a higher quality, lower cost process is almost always a faster one, right? We're seeing teams report up to 15% faster cycle times. From start to finish, things just get done quicker. So when you put all of this together, what does it really mean?
Well, when you add it all up, fewer errors, lower costs, faster cycles, you get something that's honestly even more powerful. You get to make better decisions. With built-in audit trails creating up to 88% data reliability, you're not basing your strategy on guesswork anymore. It's based on solid, hard evidence.
All right, so the benefits are pretty clear. But let's be honest, the world of workflow tools can feel, well, completely overwhelming. There are so many of them. So how do you find what's actually right for you? Let's try to break down the options into a few key categories to make it easier.
First up, we have what I like to call the engine room, workflow automation software. The whole idea here is pretty simple. These tools take on the repetitive, rule-based tasks that just eat up so much of your day. They're like the digital glue that connects all the different apps you already use, your CRM, your email, your cloud storage, and makes them all talk to each other seamlessly.
You've probably heard of platforms like Zapier or Make. They are absolute masters of this. Zapier can connect literally thousands of different apps, letting you build these simple if this, then that workflows, all without needing to write a single line of code. Make works on a very similar principle, automating tasks based on specific triggers. It's all about making your separate systems work together as one cohesive unit.
Next up, we have a category that I bet a lot of you are already familiar with: project management tools. Their main job is to bring order to chaos. They centralize everything you need for a project: who's doing what, when it's due, how far along we are, just to make sure everyone is on the same page and things keep moving forward.
Now, the key thing to remember here is that not all these tools are built for the same job. Something like Jira is an absolute powerhouse for agile developer teams. Asana, with its visual timelines, is pretty much perfect for cross-functional marketing campaigns. And then you have Trello with its simple card layout, which is amazing for small teams that just need to get up and running fast. The goal is always, always to match the tool to what your team actually needs.
And of course, there are other important categories to think about. You've got your communication platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams that bring all your conversations and files into one place. And then there are specialized tools built for very specific functions, like a CRM for sales, an ERP for finance, or a document management system for a legal team.
So now that we kind of get the landscape, how do you actually pick the right tool and then get it implemented successfully? Let's build out a little playbook for making that decision.
Because really, it can feel like a massive task. You're looking at all these different options, and the big question that pops into your head is, where do I even start? How do I begin to evaluate all of this?
You start right here with a simple checklist. Ask these questions for any tool you're considering. Can it scale as your team gets bigger? Does it actually integrate with the software you're already using? Is it easy to use? Or is it going to require weeks of training? And this one's crucial. Does the price make sense for the value you're getting, and is it secure? Think of these as your non-negotiables.
Okay, so once you've picked a tool, whatever you do, don't try to boil the ocean. A phased rollout is absolutely key. Start small with a pilot project. Let one team test it out and work out all the kinks. Use their feedback to develop really good targeted training. Then you can expand gradually. And, this is so important, find your internal champions, the power users who love the tool and can help get everyone else on board.
And look, you're definitely going to hit some bumps in the road. It's just inevitable. Some people will resist the change, technical glitches might pop up. The secret is to be proactive. Communicate the why, the benefits, over and over again to get buy-in, and make sure you've got IT resources lined up and ready to support the transition. Now let's do a little future gazing. The tools and strategies we've talked about are incredibly powerful right now, today. But the future of workflow optimization, it's evolving at a mind-blowing pace. And the big driver behind that evolution is, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. Get this, organizations that are already using AI-enhanced workflows are reporting staggering productivity gains, up to 40%. This isn't just a little tweak, it's a massive, fundamental shift towards processes that can literally optimize themselves.
There are three huge trends that are really leading the charge here. First, there's hyper-automation, this idea of combining AI with other technologies to automate pretty much anything you can think of. Then there's the explosion of no-code and low-code platforms, which empower everybody in the company, not just developers, to build their own solutions. And finally, predictive analytics, using AI to see problems coming and fix them before they even happen.
So what this all means is that we're moving away from these rigid, static flowcharts we're all used to. The future is about creating adaptive systems, workflows that can actually learn from data, find their own weak spots, and just continuously get better over time, all on their own.
And this really hammers home the point that optimization isn't some one-time project you just check off a list. No, it's a continuous cycle. By constantly monitoring key metrics like cycle time and error rates, these new adaptive systems make sure that your processes are always getting faster, smarter, and more efficient.
Which really brings us to the final question we should all be asking ourselves. The technology is here and it's only getting more and more powerful. So take a hard look at how your team gets things done today and just ask, is our workflow ready for the future?